it can get difficult when you're kind of driven by
For someone to preach more than 45 minutes today,
there's more eyes and more ears that you're able to reach for the gospel.
I think the business format has taken over everything. Welcome back to Pastor's Coffee, episode 55. Glad you could join us today. Brooks, how'd your week been going?
My week has been fulfilling. I'm changing my words because I always say it's good, but it was a good week. It was, it's been busy so far. We had another appointment for the baby. We're just getting close, man. So it's getting exciting. And church was good last night. I'm trying to think of some other things that we did. Monday seemed to be pretty busy. I don't know. Some of this week's kind of been a blur. I'll have to look back at my calendar, even see
It's
what I've
been
done. But
it's been kind of just like a fast week for me, I
seems
think.
like it. Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah,
So how about you? I
but
mean, what's going on?
doing good. Yeah, but before I answer, I'm Diff. This is Brooks, by the way.
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot to
sorry
int-
guys.
I didn't I forgot to say the name. I'm not usually the guy who introduces us. So I always make mistakes. But my week, again, it's been kind of a fast week. Going to ABC tomorrow. I have a flag football game on Saturday. Super excited for that. Hopefully get Deet his first win of his ABC career. And so I'm excited for that. But I don't have anything to preach this Sunday. We have a family Sunday, so we just have our regular um, regular service. And so I've been taking time to do more of our website and kind of do
Good.
some other things that I don't usually get to do because I have
Mhm.
obviously messages to do. Um,
I get out
but
of
yeah,
Sunday night this week too.
do you really? What are you
Yes,
guys doing
yes.
this Sunday night?
We have a business meeting plus a church dinner. So we just
Oh,
figured it'd take up kind of part of the afternoon. So yeah, we
gotcha.
canceled the evening stuff. But yeah, I
Okay.
don't have Sunday night either.
There we go.
So
Look at
mhm.
us. We're gonna have a nice. I have a family reunion on Sunday.
I
So I'm
do.
excited. So we actually get to stay. We usually go there right after church, and then we have to leave like a couple hours in, and so it'll be nice to actually stay there however
Yeah,
long
it'd be
we
nice,
can,
man.
and
Yeah,
um, see some family we don't get to see too often. Um,
yeah, good.
I'm looking forward. Shout out to the fam. If you're watching this, kickball slash Bible quizzing. A lot of them are in the youth group and run the youth group that we here at the church we do an annual event. Usually we've been doing softball, but uh we've not been doing too hot in softball lately, so we're gonna switch it to kickball.
You gonna play softball
Um,
again this summer?
I'm trying. I'm trying. It's
Okay.
been the team I usually am on. So there's two teams and they combined to one team, and so
Oh,
now they
okay.
have a bunch of people, and so now I'm kind of back in the free agent world of
So
thing.
I negotiate a
Um,
contract. Okay.
Gotta go negotiate a contract.
Don't
So
settle. Don't
I
settle. It
don't.
has to
I
have
won't.
a few
I've had
things in
many
it.
offers. I've had
I
many
figured.
offers.
Yeah.
1.2 mil, couple low balls.
It's just not
Honestly,
gonna cut it. I mean,
I'm looking
respect your game.
at least at least 7 mil
We
to
gotta
get
look
me
at the
in the
market,
door.
see what
You
these
know,
guys are getting paid. I mean,
they
yeah,
I was batting 500 last year. They
exactly.
need to they can't be anyway. Um, but I'm looking forward to softball and I'm looking forward to kickball against the family. When our youth group goes against their youth group.
Yep,
And
yep.
hopefully we'll get a dub this time.
Okay.
Um, so but anyway, let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. And today we're going to be touching on something we haven't really talked about at all, ever, on this podcast.
Mhm.
We're trying to get some new things. So if you have a topic you want us to talk about, comment down below, and we'll most likely do it. So, um, but today we're going to be talking about today how our preaching is affected in the digital age. And I'll go ahead and let you kind of start us off, and I'll throw some input, and then after this, we might even show an illustration of what it's like.
Well, this question, you automatically, I mean, if you are in kind of the church space, you automatically think of a few names right off the top of your head, and we may get to one later, like you
We
mentioned.
will.
But um, I think, I guess for me, you know, I guess I'll kinda throw myself under the bus a little bit. Um, I have that TikTok page, and usually every time that I preach, there's a couple minutes of each sermon that'll get cut up and just throw for there because, I mean, on that platform, you're not viewing full-length sermons. It's a lot of times a 30-second clip or a minute clip, and it's kind of out of context of what you're saying in the whole sermon, but sometimes there's a little bit of, just some good spiritual truth in it. But I think it can get dangerous when well, there's a couple different ways to point at this. The good thing about this is there's more eyes and more ears that you're able to reach for the gospel, which is
Hmm.
amazing. I
Yeah.
think of, you know, my congregation, a few hundred people, but online you're able to reach thousands and they share it to thousands and it just can keep going that way. There's sermons online
Yeah.
that get millions of views from people who will never step foot in a church. So in that way, preaching in a digital age, it's amazing because the doors opened are so beneficial. And at the time of when Jesus was doing his ministry, it would have never thought to be possible. They were reaching people one by one, discipleship, where now you can reach with the click of a button millions of people. But I think it can get difficult when you're kind of driven by the numbers or excited by the clicks. And I think we have pastors today that try to become influencers.
Hmm.
And I think we're all susceptible to it and can become that way if we're not careful, if we don't check our pride. We start to get those eyes and get that attention and start to change our messages to get a viral clip because we know if we say this, it will gain a lot of attention and
Yeah.
a lot of people will talk about us. And I think we're seeing that everywhere. These bigger churches, we have some people trying some off the wall things, knowing that people are going to either have a good or bad reaction about it. And all they care about is their name being talked
Hmm.
about. One thing that before I pass over to you, I mean, so many different ways we could go about this. I saw one clip of a guy really getting criticized. I won't drop his name because it's just a controversial topic. We can get into some more stuff, but his sermon was solid. Okay, his sermon was pretty solid, but he made a joke and they cut the joke out, and it fit with his sermon. I watched the rest of the sermon, but the joke, if that's by itself, I mean, it doesn't sound super great. And these comments on Facebook are all saying, "Just stick with the Bible. Don't do anything else but stick with the Bible. Why are you
Yeah.
talking about this stuff?" When in reality, it was just an illustration to what he was talking about. It was a joke. It obviously, without any context, didn't sound super great. But that's the danger of it is, we can pull out just a minute from a clip. It's the same thing of reading scripture. You can pull a verse out of scripture and make it sound however you want it to. Same is true for a sermon.
Yeah.
You can take 30
Yeah.
seconds or a minute out of it and make it sound worse than it actually was.
Yeah.
So I'm talking too much. You take it.
Oh, you
But
go ahead. Yeah, I think it's cool that you brought up the TikTok there in the very beginning. And I think when I first think of preaching in the digital age is that we today do not have the attention span as we did a long time ago.
like, yeah,
And they would sit around for hours listening to a sermon. So
man, yeah,
for someone to preach more than 45 minutes today, we say they're long-winded,
absolutely
right?
we do.
And and so like TikTok is obviously a big driver in that we get these very short we can understand what they were talking about in a minute. And,
Yeah, yeah,
our attention spans for that minute, if we don't find something interesting the first 3 seconds, we swipe up. You don't get that in a sermon. You don't get the chance to just swipe up or down, whatever it is. Um, you got to sit there, and people lose focus in that. And so when I first think of somebody preaching in a digital age like myself, like you, is that people's attention spans aren't like they used to be. And so what do we do to accommodate that, right? We get PowerPoints, right? Every church almost nowadays has PowerPoints, and which is a great tool. It's a great tool. You can have the Bible verses up there, you can have your points up there, but also it's become a distraction, right? There's many times where I stop preaching and say, "Oh, well, I maybe could have made that font a little bigger," and now it creates a distraction. Maybe I've lost the focus of where we're at, and I have to go into it. It also takes time to prepare throughout the week, and it could take time to where I needed to change my sermon, but I didn't have time because I have to make a PowerPoint about it. Um, and again, PowerPoints are great, and I think we should continue to use them. but the digital age has really taken our focus kind of away from the sermon a little bit, I think.
Yep.
The mic starts going out, it takes a distraction away from us. And there's just so much technology in churches today, which again is a great thing, but also can cause us a distraction.
Sure.
Um, and so those are kind of my immediate thoughts on it. And I think, as we'll watch the video later, but I think churches nowadays are really, like you were saying, focusing on the numbers and how they can get people in here. And technology is a big way that they can do that. And obviously, posting on social media is a great platform, but it's also a very terrible platform that we could use and abuse. So I just wanted to go ahead and get some more of your thoughts on it. But
No, that's a good point, and I think, to even take it a little bit further about attention spans, to even give them more credit, they don't even have physical Bibles in front of them at the time of
most of
Jesus'
the time,
sermons. I
we
mean,
don't even have physical pieces of paper that says
well, exactly,
exact.
but
Yeah,
they don't have anything in front of them, so their eyes had to be so locked in on the speaker. They don't have even microphones, they don't have any sound echoing equipment, so they are so focused on that speaker to retain every single thing, so they can think about the rest of the day because they wanna know what it says so bad. So it is a completely different world,
yeah,
because they wanted to be taught, whereas we don't necessarily want to because we can find out the answer to anything we want to hear in a Google search or
yeah,
a I mean or a YouTube video. It is just such a different world, and we have to change our dynamic. But I think of pastors, and obviously we keep referring to what we'll watch in a bit, but I saw a really cool clip of a guy talking about the church becoming, kind of a consumer based business in a sense. And
hmm,
he said something along the lines of, when pastors become executives, their congregation stops being someone to shepherd and starts becoming someone to retain.
yeah,
And in essence, he was just saying, church has become a place to where we are supposed to wow the congregation every week to get them to sit in the seat, to get them to stay, for them to keep coming, for them to keep tithing, for them to keep sharing our Facebook pages. Whereas
yeah,
pastors, we're called to shepherd. What we say isn't always fun to hear. What we do isn't always agreed upon. And what we try and lead you to is not always broadcasted on TV because
yeah,
a lot of times we're in the minority. But that is what we've been called to do. Jesus says, "They hated me, they will hate you." The church is hated. And the second that we try to make this church liked by the world, oh man, we've lost the point. So
for
I
sure.
think that that's really this digital age. You're trying to cater to an audience that isn't your targeted audience. You're trying to cater to the world because that's what these social media platforms are. You're trying to get clicks from some are Christians, but most aren't. And you're trying to
Hmm.
get a following from the people who really are not a part of your sheep anyway, not a part of the people that
Yeah,
God has called you to shepherd. Now, if you can say some encouraging people to millions of people, like we said at the beginning, it's amazing. But you're called to shepherd the people that God has gave you in that congregation, and that has to be the first priority. Now, I'm not saying
yeah,
that most pastors do that, but I think a lot of your bigger churches
yeah,
um, have started to kind of adopt that consumer mindset that we've got to keep these people in the door, so we got to keep them wowed, we got to keep them entertained, and that's not church. That's not
yeah.
what church is meant to be. So yeah,
Yeah, I think the business format has really taken over really everything today. I mean,
yeah,
you look at sports. I mean, we talk a
hmm,
lot about sport.
yeah,
I mean, people genuinely just loved playing, let's just say baseball since it's opening day.
yeah,
Loved playing baseball, and they still do.
hmm,
But there's a sense of I want to do this so I can go make a bunch of money
oh,
and get my name
absolutely,
out there,
yeah,
you know?
absolutely,
And that's becoming more of the motive for everything in our lives is how much money we can make, how popular we can get.
man,
And
yeah,
it's affected church, it's affected sports, it's affected school, it's affected everything. Um, and so I think that's a great point of bringing that up, the business model that churches can often get. And I can find myself falling into that. I want to get people here, and
absolutely,
how can
absolutely,
we get them here?
yeah,
Technology is a big reason why people find out about a church, and
yeah, yeah.
um,
It's a great tool. Yeah, you're right.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great, and it can be very abused also. So,
Mhm.
um, but let's go ahead and get this clip, and I'll go ahead and play it now. Um, but the editing will be a little weird here, but we'll get there. So, however you want to do this, Dan. Um, so go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and play this, but obviously, as you can see, I couldn't find the original clip of this, but as you can see, it very fits our narrative, what we're talking about today. So we'll go ahead and react to this one.
Here are 6 crazy Mike Todd moments he
Oh
poured
man.
over the Bible.
Syrup all over the communion, over the Bible too. Yo, stop acting like you care about this.
Whipped cream is
He lives
crazy.
like this in his sermon.
Speak on
A
this.
trampoline.
He loves entertaining people.
Oh,
No, not this black thing today is watermelon. Use my cake.
this is
His
going
entire
on while
unshaved
he's
face.
sermon.
You're laughing, but I just sent somebody money.
His reason for buying super expensive clothes.
And so part of what I've always tried to do is use my fashion to make a doorway for my faith.
His view of sin.
So I said, we're going to go to the edge on this. And they said, Pastor, how far on the edge are we going to go? I said, we're going to do everything short of sin.
What's the problem, Mike Todd?
So obviously we can get into a lot there. But I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen real quick. Just a couple of examples there. But the pouring of the syrup before that we didn't see that in the clip there, but he was throwing casseroles all over the makeshift um pews and stuff like that. Saying a lot of, well, Mike Todd things, as you can see. Um, but go ahead and give me your immediate reaction of
Wow.
how digital has Mike Todd, and this is obviously a lot of pastors do this, but Mike Todd just puts it all out there to be seen.
It's huge
So
stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
he's
but you can probably see my reaction through the screen. I've seen some of those. I hadn't seen all this. My first reaction was the trampoline. I would have snapped my ankle in half in front of that entire congregation, which would have been awful. Um,
I
but
just want to
I
know, like, real quick before you start,
yeah,
I do want to say this is that imagine going into the meeting Monday saying, by the way, we're going to need to take out some chairs and
yeah,
we're going to need a
create some
trampoline in
space.
there. We're going to need a trampoline. Or if that maybe that was a last minute decision on Friday. He's like, hold on,
Yeah,
guys. Y'all need to come in and work overtime on Saturday. We're going to need a trampoline in here for Sunday.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And they're looking for
Um,
the youth pastor. He's like, "Oh, that's not his. That's not his."
no. This is the main service.
I think now here's where we can go with this again. Back to what we said. I don't want to be, but I even hesitate to say this. I don't want to be too harsh because we are seeing 20 seconds, not even, of an entire sermon. What I'm saying is, I don't know how you can fit those applications into a sermon. I don't know. I haven't watched the sermons. Maybe he would surprise me. Maybe he has great doctrine. I don't know. Um, I struggle to believe that with some of those, but I
Especially that
think
last one,
yeah, for sure. So I think I think it just goes back to what we've been saying, man. When you become an entertainer,
which he's very good
you
at.
you stop becoming a pastor. Now, a pastor can be entertaining. He cannot be an entertainer. That cannot
Hmm.
be his goal, is to entertain. Now it can happen that way. Some speakers are very entertaining, they're still very sound sometimes, and you need to have a sense of um you know, your congregation wanting to hear you each week. They
Yeah.
need to be entertained by your speaking, not in the way that they're wowed and by how crazy you're acting, but how well you're prepared each week and how well you articulate the gospel and how God uses you. That is entertaining. But you
Hmm.
do not become an entertainer because then your congregation becomes that consumer based thinking that we've been talking about all day. So I
Yeah.
just think it's just dangerous. It's very dangerous because
It is.
where I mean, I just don't. I'm sure he has a point for every single one of those, and I'd love to talk with him one day. It'll probably never happen,
Yeah,
but
probably not.
um,
He can come on here if he wants.
yeah, took it. But it's maybe he has a great answer for all those. And I hate to hate to talk about other pastors, but you got to call out when things are being done wrong, and I'm sure somebody will do that for me one day, um, because I hope not. I hope to do things well.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it, you've got to define your goal of why you're at church. Is it to glorify God or glorify me? Is it to bring eyes to me or is it to bring eyes to God? Every single one of those illustrations says, "Look at me, look at me, look at me."
Yeah.
None of it says, "Look at God."
And yeah, when you're getting your hair cut on stage, and doing, and there's some more things that we could show, and I'm sure that people have seen, um, and there's just a lot of some crazy things that been said there, um, but the trampoline thing, I don't even know what he was saying. What
Oh,
he was just
neither.
trying to
Yeah,
land a flip, and
you just heard his
then
breath. You just heard his
it,
breath.
and then pouring the syrup on the Bible was a little,
Wow,
with the whipped cream, and just I don't see, maybe we need to listen to the rest of it, I guess,
maybe.
but I feel like that is more obviously more of a entertaining thing.
Has
Um,
to be. Yeah.
the the uh the VR goggles as well.
Now we like
Obviously,
some VR. Me and you, we
well,
like some VR.
we're all down for it. I'm probably not gonna do it in a sermon,
Oh yeah.
but you know,
Unless he's preaching to a VR audience. Now that may have been what he was doing,
maybe, maybe.
but we didn't
I
think of
doubt
that.
it. But um, he's apparently sending money to people because
Yeah,
apparently he has a lot of it. So we're just
I'm sure he
like,
does. Yeah.
um, and then the clothes thing. That now I will say probably the least worst out of all of that was the clothes thing. What he said at the end was a little weird. Um, but
Probably
like
put off, put on. Probably. I don't know the sermon, but probably putting on righteousness. I would say
something like that,
maybe
adapting to the culture of today.
could
We
be.
don't
Yeah.
have to wear a suit and tie to
Right.
go preach. You know, I preach most of the time in my shorts and a t-shirt,
Yeah.
um, which most people would probably not like to hear, but it can be done. So, um, but yeah, I think when we go to our preaching, we gotta go back to look at Christ, and people just wanted to hear the truth, right? And people today just have so many avenues because of the digital technology that we have to hear preaching, and so Sunday sermons almost aren't like unique anymore. Because you can go home and listen to a sermon. You can listen to sermons all day because there's so many out there. Um, but there's something about coming to church and hearing a sermon and letting your heart be prepared to hear this sermon. There's something special about that. Uh, but we can talk about more of this next week. We don't want to go over our time too much today, but let us know if you want us to continue talking about it. If you have any videos, let us know. Tag them
Yeah. We
down
love
below.
reactions. Yeah.
We'll do some more reactions here in the future. Um, but yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Top 5 Blind.
Top 5 blind rankings. We've been really against each other these past couple.
Oh,
Um, but today I feel like we're going to be unified.
okay.
Will we? I'm not sure, but
I
we'll
don't
get
know.
there. Um, I'll ask you. What we're going to do today, by the way, is some sodas and then some Pixar movies. And so I'm going to rank the Pixar movies, and Brooks over here is going to rank sodas. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my, I'm going to go ahead and give you the sodas to start us off here.
Got it. Got
Okay. Out of 5. Now, I'll give you an easy one to start off. And I'm not going to say chocolate chip pancakes like I did last year. I know
it.
that wasn't basic.
Can we ask? Did you get some hate for that?
Mm, a little bit. A little bit. Here and there. What I got hate for was Chick-fil-A fries.
Okay. Well, you deserve that
Um,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got many comments about that.
Okay.
People think I'm outrageous, but I think
That was.
I
It
think
was
I think
outrageous.
I'm accurate. Um, but where are you putting in this top 5 of sodas? Where are you putting Coke?
Oh.
Basic,
Okay.
basic off the start.
Let me just preface this,
Hmm.
and people are going to be really upset. I don't drink much soda at all.
Okay,
I like it. I just don't drink much of it.
that's good.
Now, I'm not saying I'm healthy. I do nothing but sugary drinks, but I'm more of
Yeah.
like a Gatorade Body Armor guy. That's just as
Yeah.
bad, I know. But I don't really drink much soda. But if we're just talking the taste, not a huge Coke fan,
Mm,
so it's at 5. It's at
5
5
for
for
you.
me.
Okay.
It's probably if I'm getting a soda, it's not gonna be Coke.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
don't want to give you my other ones yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't. We'll save that
yeah.
for the end here.
Okay.
So Coke at 5.
Yeah, not a Coke fan.
Where are you gonna put? Where are you gonna put root beer? It only goes up from here because you put it at 5. So
Really like root beer. Um,
okay.
I'm scared you won't have my favorite one on here.
I mean,
Um,
I honestly don't know your favorite.
because
So
I really don't. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't really
you
drink it a
don't.
lot.
You're always that like lemonade
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
guy when we go out places.
yeah. Uh, oh, I'm a lemonade believer. Um,
Yes, you are.
but let's go. I'm gonna go root beer at 3.
At 3. Okay.
I'll explain that a little bit later because if there was a
Okay.
little bit variation on that, it could be a 1.
Yeah. I will say these are basic again,
Okay. Okay.
unlike last week.
Yeah. Well, that helps me.
One of them could be, they have different flavors, but this is the main flavor. And I'll just
Yeah,
go ahead and give it to you. Orange Fanta.
that's
Orange
good.
Fanta,
That's good.
which is the basic Fanta, by the
Yeah.
way.
We're gonna go number 2 there.
Number 2 over root beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you gonna put Starry? I don't know if you ever had this yet.
I
Starry.
have. I have. Um, this is tough. I'm not doing super good with this one. I like my 5, but then um I have to go 4. I like it though. I
Okay.
like it. It's like 2, 3, 4. I'm good with all of
It
them.
really, you're good, but you could be without them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Um,
I like
where are
it.
you, where are you gonna put number 1? Where are you gonna put this at number 1? Cheer wine. Cheer wine.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Are you good
I
with
like
that?
it. I like it. I don't know if it would be. It's definitely not my favorite soda, but it's in terms of this list. I mean, I like it. I like it.
Okay.
So let me give you my variation. So my favorite soda is cream soda, and a lot of times
Okay. See,
that's with
I did
root
know
beer.
that.
Yeah. So that would definitely be number 1. So root beer. I mean, if you're counting that with cream soda, because it is a lot of times at base,
Mm-hmm.
that might be 1. But
Yeah. Cream
I don't
soda is
mind the list.
one
Yeah.
of the goats. One of the
Oh
goats.
man, that's my favorite. That's a guilty
Yeah.
pleasure for sure.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah, I'm a big I drink a lot of zero sugar soda
yeah.
um as of late, and I get probably too much, but I drink a lot of Starry is one of them. Starry is a great. I like it more than Sprite, to be honest with you. It's a it's better, I think.
I'd take McDonald's Sprite over it,
Okay,
but
for sure.
just cans will take Starry. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But McDonald's
Root
Sprite's
beer's
just
up
so
there
good
for
value.
me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like root beer.
The Barks, whatever that Barks root beer
Good
is
stuff.
probably one of my
So,
favorite root beers.
trying to think of oh yeah, a cream soda float might
Mm,
be my favorite
I honestly have never
drink ever.
had that. I
Oh,
need to
that's
try
gotta
that.
happen. That's gotta
I
happen.
need to try that.
Now what I haven't had is cream soda with Jenny's ice cream
Oh,
float.
Jenny. Okay,
There,
we're gonna have to make a trip.
dude, we're gonna have to. That would be it.
That would be good. I haven't even tried it, and I know that would be good. Shout out to Jenny's again.
Oh, we love Jenny.
But go ahead
Okay,
and
your turn, your turn, your turn. Um,
Pixar movies. Now
Pixar movies.
we are just talking strictly Pixar.
Yeah, and let's go ahead. We'll say because a few of these will have multiple movies. Let's just say
Are we ranking the whole series?
we'll say this series,
Okay.
okay? In terms of
So like
not
Toy
all of them
Story.
will have it.
Toy
Right,
Story, for
right.
example, 1 through 4, I think, right? 4?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
or yeah, I think so. So that would just be obviously one line. Okay.
Okay. Good.
And that is your first rank
Toy
is
Story.
Toy Story. Where is it?
Ooh. I do love me some Toy Story. I do
Mhm.
have my favorite in mind, and Toy Story is not it. But out of the Pixar movies, Toy Story is good. It kind of got like not the greatest at the end, but it's still good. It's still a very solid movie. movies. So I'm gonna rank it, and it's just so nostalgic. We're gonna have to go 3. I was
Oh,
thinking about 2. I
it's
thought
not
about
one. It's got to
2.
be two. Oh man.
See, my favorite is okay. I'll just save it.
I think I know,
Um,
but
but Toy Story arguably really could be 2, but there's also some more that I don't know if you put it on here.
okay.
So Toy Story at 3.
All right, number two, Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo, another. Okay, Pixar really doesn't miss. I kind of forgot
They
about
don't.
that.
They don't.
See, there's 2 movies that I would put over Toy Story, and Finding Nemo's not one of them.
I'm gonna let it fall to four.
It's gonna have to go to 4. That's
Man,
bad, and
okay.
that doesn't say anything bad about Finding Nemo, because Finding Dory's also attached to that, which is a good
Yeah,
movie.
we put that with that. Yeah,
But Toy Story's better, and the other, I just
agreed.
have 2 in mind, and I don't know if you're gonna have my second one. I think you'll
I
have the
just
first one on here,
okay. All right,
but I'm gonna have to put it at 4.
all right. Next, The Incredibles. That wasn't the
Good,
top. That wasn't part of the two. You're gonna let The Incredibles go to five? That's crazy. That is crazy. This one
gonna
might be
have to
tough.
be. It's gonna have to be 5 because I have a top 2 in mind,
Okay,
and I feel like I'm gonna be disappointed here.
I think you're gonna be two. Next to last, Monsters Inc.
Okay. Now, see, I do enjoy some Monsters Inc. though. I'm okay with putting that at 2,
Okay,
and I'm saving
okay.
it for last here. Hopefully, I got number 1 right.
I think you're gonna be happy with this one. Cars.
Cars. Now, listen, if we're talking the whole series, it honestly could have gone lower because Cars 2 is probably the worst Pixar movie of all time. Um,
Was two
but
bad? I thought it was three that was bad.
3 wasn't the greatest, but 2 was when it was mainly Mater
I
fighting
can't remember
off
two as much.
the
Yeah,
agent spies. Lightning McQueen wasn't even in the movie, really.
gotcha.
Yeah. But Cars 1 is just first movie I ever saw in theaters, so special meaning there.
So
Cry
good.
almost every time I see it because I don't know why. When Lightning McQueen pushes the king
Oh yeah,
over the
yeah,
finish line,
yeah. Great
tears.
story. Great
It's a
story.
great
Yeah.
story. Um, Now my number 2 that I was kind of hoping out for, which I would still put at number 2 over all of the other 4, is The Good Dinosaur.
I
Have
wasn't
you
even
ever
thinking of
seen
that.
that? The Good Dinosaur. That is Pixar, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember
I'm
that.
pretty sure it's
I don't know.
Pixar. The Good Dinosaur, first of all, the animation is amazing in it,
Yeah.
and I cry at least 2 or 3 times in that movie
Wow.
because it's such a sad story. It's
Yeah.
so good, so good. Just go watch The Good Dinosaur.
Okay.
But I forgot about how good Pixar was
Oh man, there's so many
because
good
The
ones. Yeah.
Incredibles doesn't deserve 5.
No. No.
Those are like the top 5 movies right there.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Pixar is a great series, but yeah. Any topics you guys want to do, leave us down below and we'll do them. Maybe we'll try out a new game next week. Um,
Cool.
It'd be cool. Um, so hopefully, next week we'll have a new game, and we'll continue to do top 5, but we'll try out something new next week for you guys. But anyways, again, if you have any topics for either segment, let us know, and we'll most likely do it. And check us out on the socials. Almost at 100 followers on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah. Get us
Just so
there.
you know,
Get us to
get
100.
us there. We'll shout out the 100th follower. Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
If you're not following on Instagram,
What
now's
are
the
you doing?
time.
Like, what are you doing if you're not?
What's your feed of? Hmm? Is it Pastor's Coffee?
It's definitely not.
Eh.
Yeah.
So, again, we appreciate you guys listening. And again, let us know what you like and what you don't like. And we'll adapt. So, not too much though, not like Mike Todd, but we'll adapt. So, but we'll see you guys next week, and hope you have a good week. We'll see you.